Hey y'all, long time no see. You already know, I gotta do this video because I was supposed to have done it 2 weeks ago, and it's really not the video that I want to do. But since me and the elders been talking about this water situation, it's no wonder why the Creator had. First, let me pay my tribute to my queen. Now check it. I just seen an interview of a farmer out in California was talking about how the California government, all the rainwater, or rather should I say the necessary rainwater that was needed during the floods and all of that, they flushed that water out into the ocean. Now check it. He was saying, first, but let me get this out the way. To my black folks, to my conscious people who want to do right, trying to do right, you know, even though you still walking on both sides, I'm still walking on both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? The only thing that keeps me sane is to do these videos, to acknowledge the Creator. So whenever the Creator decides to instill some idea or implant a seed for me, I have to marinate on that because, like I said before, I can handle being without, but doesn't necessarily mean that I want to be without. You know what I mean? So I'm going to continue to put my foot up this dirty cracker's ass. And his brother, this Jew bastard, no good Jew, like as the book of Romans would say, the Jew is not the Jew inwardly. Because if he was, he would do right. But it ain't in him, and I'm about to prove it again. Now, let's get back to this water situation. 70 to 80% of your food supply in this country comes from the West Coast. Water is needed for agricultural growth. Why the fuck would this dirty honky flush necessary rainwater that can be used to produce food for us in this country? But no, this dirty bastard wants to go flush it in the goddamn ocean. Now, the farmer was saying that there's already a food crisis right now. So with that being said, with them flushing millions of gallons of water into the ocean that we could have used to grow food. Anyway, let me help you understand why the Creator is putting a foot up everybody's ass, but more so in our ass as blacks, because we are the direct descendants and we supposed to be running this shit. But since most of our people love sucking dick, and I know they don't like saying it, but maybe if I say it enough, you'll stop sucking dick. Now, let me tell you what God is doing to you, but you don't want to say God is fucking you up. You want to put the blame on somebody else. So let me explain to you why God is fucking you up. Because he's fucking you up because he who does wrong will receive the consequences of the wrong which he has done. And he's going to get that consequence without any partiality. So just think about this. I asked somebody one day, I said, if it took them 450 years to get us to act like this, how long do you think it'd take for us to unscramble this fucking brain of ours? And that's a good question. That's a question that we all should ponder on, because we running around here thinking we think for ourselves when we don't. And the fact of the matter is, that man trained us to act just like him, and the more you act like him, or the more we act like him, the more he can't stand us. So that means he can't stand his fucking self. Think about that shit. So you wonder why he constantly got a foot up in the nigga ass. And to add insult to injury, these niggas still begging. You're 13% of the population now. The Latinos are 22%. When Moses said, free my people, nigga, you been free. That right there lets you know that you've been sucking dick for the last 20 years and the motherfucker been let you go. But here you go marching like a motherfucker, running to this goddamn dirty cracker, asking him for some more shit. Anyway, let's see what else the good Lord has to say about these dumb niggas and whoever else is following this stupid ass cracker. Dumb motherfucker. Now, in the book of Proverbs, right, I do remember it says that the prudent sees evil and hides from it, but the naive go on and are punished by it, or rather punished for it. Just think about that shit. So all of the suffering that you're doing, you being punished by the Creator, but nobody wants to give the Creator no blame. Everybody wants to say the devil is doing this shit to me and this motherfucker's doing, but nobody wants to blame God. And God's been promising you that he's gonna fuck you up for not listening. So, continue to pass the buck. Now, let's get back. Let's get back. Let's get back to this Jewish motherfucker. I don't even like saying that shit, man, because he's not Jewish. Shit. Some shit that we taught him. He done took it and ran roughshod over us. He knows the secret. I know the secret. I'm trying to help you niggas out. Just think about this. Now check it. Got me to thinking. Now I want you to listen to this. In our day, the power which has replaced that of the rulers is the power of gold. Listen. Time was when faith ruled. The idea of freedom is impossible of realization because no one knows how to use it with moderation. When a state exhausts itself in its own convulsions through internal discords or external foes, it becomes irretrievably lost and is soon in our power. Now, let's get back to this gold shit. Just imagine. Now, mind you, the reason why they killed Muammar Gaddafi, this old pants-wearing bitch-ass Clinton's wife, fucking bitch, this bitch had him killed. Now, mind you this, before he made his transition, there was no such thing as homelessness in Libya. And Libya is in Africa. Now, mind you this, no homelessness. After this dirty bitch threw this sorry-ass nigga, Barack Obama sent her over there to run roughshod. Now, Libya is towed the fuck up. Now, explain how consequence befalls this country and this country's inhabitants. Based on what? Based on deed. Now, America has one of the worst homelessness crises in its history. I say, man, what a tangled web we weave. Now check it. Oh, back to the gold shit. When Nixon, back in 1971, took America off the gold standard, that was the downfall of this country. Because when he went from the gold standard to this fake ass, paper ass money that don't mean shit, that's why they can print this shit out of thin fucking air. And now you got a debt ceiling of over 30-something odd $1 trillion or whatever the fuck that shit is. And it's a debt that can never be paid back. And they have to pay back Jewish people because they got to get the money from the Federal Reserve because it's a private-owned bank. Now, let's get back into this Jew. Let me put my foot up this dirty bastard's ass. Bagel nose bitch. Big hook nose motherfucker. When a state exhausts itself in its own convulsions through internal discords, Republican, Democrat, or external foes, which is your bankers, pharmaceutical industry, because they all vying for that same position and power. They don't have the power, but they got somebody in power that's their power. This is how this shit works. And you vote for these stupid motherfuckers. The despotism of capital, which is entirely in our hands. Let me read that again. The despotism of capital, which is entirely in our hands, reaches out to it a straw that a state willy-nilly must take hold of. If this motherfucker needs some money, he got to go begging to this motherfucker. And if he don't want to give it to him, he's got to continue to beg him and do all kind of goofy shit just to please him. Again, this is who y'all stick in office. Now listen to this. The political has nothing in common with the moral. The ruler who is governed by the moral is not a skilled politician. Because a skilled politician has to be a fucking liar. And you've been sticking liars in office for centuries. Well, not centuries. Because we ain't quite reached the 200-year mark based on so quote-unquote freedom. Emancipation Proclamation. And you niggas need to really find out what the fuck that shit mean, because nigga, that's why they gave you the illusion of freedom and you still can't do what the fuck you want to do. You should understand why that is. He who wishes to rule must have recourse both to cunning and to make-believe. Great national qualities like frankness and honesty are vices in politics. You can't be honest in a political environment. And that's the dream that we fail to understand. For they bring down rulers from their thrones more effectively and certainly than the most powerful enemy. Such qualities must be attributes of the kingdoms of the Goyim which is the Caucasian. But we must in no wise be guided by them. That's why they can't tell that Jew shit. Soon as they try to dictate something to that motherfucker, the first thing he spits out is some monetary shit. And then soon as he mentions something about withholding money, this cracker go turn tail. That's what he does. Now listen, such qualities must be the added attributes of the kingdoms of the Goyim, but we must in no wise be guided by them. Our right lies in force and might. Our power in the present tottering condition of all forms of power will be more invincible than any other, because it will remain invisible until the moment when it has gained such strength that no cunning can any longer undermine it. I'm gonna finish up. I'm gonna have to pull back on this one, but I need y'all to start thinking about what I said in the beginning of this post about this food situation, because they done flushed all of that goddamn water to grow food into the ocean, and the farmers already saying that we ain't seen shit yet. So we go ahead and keep watching these goddamn videos, complaining, these comedy videos, putting all your frustration in comment sections and shit. And before I leave you, you ain't gotta go through that pain. I'm trying to help you niggas come up. So today's mathematics is culture freedom, or rather, knowledge culture freedom. Knowledge means what it means. You niggas need to start dealing with your own culture, manifesting your own ideas outside of somebody implementing or planting a seed, and you formulating an idea based off of somebody else's fucking mentality. Y'all niggas need to wake the fuck up. It's a wrap, nigga. I mean it. It's over. From me to you, that day of trying to come up in this world, it's over. Your job was to come up with the knowledge of self, so you don't have to come back to this motherfucker no more. And since we've been doing everything this dirty cracker taught us to do, we're gonna be coming back here like the good book says. Now y'all need to figure out where to find that shit at, because this is a fucking transitory period that you're living in. If you don't get it right down here, and I'm gonna keep saying it, you're gonna keep coming back here. Now you need to ask yourself, if you died, would you want to come back here? Yes or no? Answer that shit. If you said no, culture freedom. Learn your culture. Learn your freedom, what it is to be free. And stop living under somebody else's culture. You create a culture, somebody else takes it over and then turn it against you. The last thing you created was rap music, and look what they did to that shit. Nigga, get your own culture now, because they done took it and ran roughshod, motherfucker. So, with that being said, I'm on to the next one. And I still got to come back on the book of Revelations, because the book of Revelations is where you can free yourself. Real talk. And hopefully I can do that shit later on today, but we'll see what's up. One love.